Hey y'all, I'm back. We're talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, I did not recap episodes 2 and 3, but we're going to mention a little bit in this episode. So let's continue after this brief introduction. Let's go.
Ready or not? Ready or not? Here I come. Can't hide. Gonna find you and baby. Yo. I play my enemies like a game of chess where I rest. No stress, no success.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am B. Renee, and this is B. Renee Says, where I talk about my life in the entertainment industry, as well as a working professional. I talk about love, relationships, reality TV, and everything in between. Please sure to like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you'll be notified of any video I drop. Now let's get into it. So I did a video on the first episode, so the season premiere episode. I did a video about episodes 2 and 3 were kind of slow to me and dragged a little bit, so I wasn't really honestly that invested to do a video for episodes 2 and 3. But to recap a little bit on episodes 2 and 3, I do remember the biggest part of episode 2 was, I believe, the end of that episode was when K. Michelle went to the hospital for her wound that was open from her BBL surgery. I think it was a corrective surgery that she had gotten. And so she was having complications with that. That was the biggest scene, I think. That was the end of episode 2, I believe it was. And also, I'm trying to think, the sit down between Kelly and Portia. And of course, K. Michelle was there. But really it didn't have anything to do with her. But the sit down between Kelly and Portia, to me, was very, it was weird. I don't know where that information is coming from. I don't understand how Portia could find out that Kelly was sleeping with a married man and then was thinking about talking about Dennis when it was happening. Like, that's just weird. It just sounds stupid and something a producer might have put in her ear to say something about. Who knows? The next episode 3, I do know that, no, let me go back. Episode 2 was I think the opening for Kelly's restaurant, the Nana's Chicken and Waffles in Sandy Springs. And from what I understand, that location is already closed. Child, grand opening, grand closing. But that's all I really remember about those 2 episodes. They were kind of dry to me. I kind of gave them, I think, on a scale of 1 to 10, I probably gave it like a 6. To me, the premiere episode was a nice start, so I gave it like a 7. They're probably holding steady in between 6 and 7 right there is what I would think. This past episode was about the same. This episode was heavy on Pinky. It was a lot about Pinky and her journey with her businesses, and then filing for bankruptcy, how she's filing, what type of bankruptcy she's filing. She's telling everybody. She sits down with Kelly, who comes by the restaurant, Slutty Vegan, to talk to her, or basically film a scene. So she talks about that, and then like the end of this episode, she finally tells her husband what's going on. Of course, her husband got her back, and that was the end of that. There were some other scenes that were interesting. Angela's trying to start this Fangela line for the fans, since she is in menopause and always walking around with the personal fan. That is nothing. Listen, that is no knock. That is no shade, because listen, in the summertime, I am the same way. So I get it. And I think that's very smart for her to play on that. She's playing the reality TV game correctly by trying to invest in her business and turn around and build from the notoriety of being on the show, which is very smart. Now, we also have a couple scenes with Portia and Phaedra. It's before they get ready to go to Slutty Vegan for the community give back. So Pinky gave some assignments to all the ladies of what they needed to bring. I know Phaedra had vegan formula, and that scene between Portia, Phaedra, and Angela was cute. Angela said her guard is still up when it comes to those two ladies. She has forgiven, but she has not forgotten. And they were talking about Portia had to bring like backpacks and put supplies or something in it. It seemed to be excessive. Listen, they got it, and I'm pretty sure they came through with it. But that was actually pretty nice to see them give back, them meeting to give back to the community. It kind of reminded me of that. I think that was season 7. It might have been season, yeah. I don't remember what season it was. It might have been season 7 when they had that charity where they all had set up their stations and were selling different products of their own. It kind of reminded me of that, and I liked it. It was a good look. Now, is it me, y'all, or does Shamia's husband really don't want nothing to do with these cameras? Bravo. Husbands, he said, she said, none of it. He is not with the shits at all, okay? And I get it. That is the reason why Shamia was never really made a full-time housewife before, is because her husband was opposed to it. I guess she finally talked him into doing it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he wants to film, and I get that. But I just hate how he's making her look kind of crazy on camera, though. With him acting like he's not interested, and with the editing, you know how they can just put things in the editing that presents as if it's something when it's really not. And I feel like that's what's going on with Shamia and her husband this season with their filming. Now, I did want to mention a little bit about this Meatgate thing, how Shamia was on the phone with Phaedra, and Phaedra said that before Pinky started all of this vegan stuff, she owned a Jamaican restaurant serving meat. That's exactly what she said on the phone call. They do the flashback a couple times in this episode, and that's exactly what was said. She did not say that she ate meat. She said that she ran a Jamaican restaurant and she served meat, which is true. Jamaicans eat meat. So I could see how it could be misconstrued and people would take stuff and run with it, but really, Kelly is the only one who really said anything about her like eating meat on camera. It was jokingly. I would think it was jokingly the way she said it. But I digress. That was like very trivial. Just, things to get rumors started, pretty much is all it was. And I agree with Phaedra in that when she was meeting with Portia and Angela at the gym, that is the least of her worries when she's talking about filing the bankruptcy for her businesses. And this lastly, this is not in any order. I'm just talking about the different scenes in the episode. It did not go in order of the episode, not really. But this last pic, of course, is of Portia and her rental man at Simon's house. It is so hard. I love Portia down. I really do. But it is sometimes hard to believe what that girl says because she talks so much. Y'all check out that Carlos King interview she had this week. I couldn't get through it all because it just felt like Portia was lying. Portia talks so much. I remember my dad told me a long time ago, anybody that talks that much got to be lying. And it just feels like every time Portia is talking, she is lying. But I digress. That's just my opinion. How do y'all feel about this episode? How do y'all feel about this season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta? Do you feel like Atlanta has made a comeback as some people are trying to profess? Like Bravo and the executives? Or do you think that it's still struggle bus and needs to bring Queen Leaks on back in some kind of form of capacity? I won't need to be back as an executive producer because I feel like that's where she should be. But that's just my opinion. Let me know yours. Sound down in the comments. Thank you for listening, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.